Hello and welcome to this special series on the big fight, which is going to continue all the way through to the general election. Essentially, we are taking a look at the big fight on the road to 2019, and every single week we are going to be taking a look at all the major political developments in the week and seeing how that could possibly impact the general election. And this week, was there ever a number of items that we should actually have to discuss? From Citizenship Bill to quotas for the forward caste to Bahujan Samaj Party and Samajwadi Party to, the list could go on CBI, the list could go on and on and on. So we're going to try and have to make some sense of all of that and seeing how this can actually impact the general election. Obviously, one of the big stories right now is about the Bahujan Samaj Party and the Samajwadi Party, and that's understandable because that alliance in Uttar Pradesh and the question of whether they should or should not have got the Congress party in could make a difference in 50 seats, 50, maybe 60 seats. That could be the sort of an impact that particular alliance has. But on this episode, we are also going to focus a little bit more on the other big developments of the week, such as that quota question. Is that something that's going to have a major ramification? And let's not lose sight of the Northeast, which was one of the places where the BJP was hoping to really make up ground to many losses it might have in states like Uttar Pradesh. Has a Citizens Bill potentially put a spanner in the works? Prafulla Mahanta going to be joining us a little later in the program to talk at great length about that, the founding president of the AGP. But joining us right now on the big fight, we have Professor Yogendra Yadav, who's the national president of Swaraj India, who can help us understand many of this. Lalita Kumaramangalam, director, India Foundation, also member of the BJP, is with us. Faizan Mustafa, vice chancellor of the Nalsar University of Law, joining us from Hyderabad. Dr. Vivek Kumar is joining us, professor of sociology at JNU, has been a Dalit activist, Dalit spokesperson, is going to help us for the scheduled caste, going to help us understand how all of that is going to maybe have an impact, and does this new quota make a difference one way or the other. Mahua Moitra also going to be joining us from the Trinamool Congress, who's actually in Jaipur right now. She's going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes. And with so many people from the opposition speaking, we felt Lalita needs a certain amount of reinforcement. So we do have Anil Jha also with us to give added reinforcement from the right side or the BJP side, as the case might be. Right, thank you all so much for being with us. I am, as I'm going to do every week on this particular show, going to take you through 4 items: top political developments, good news for the government, bad news for the government, and the index of alliance unity, just to help you track everything that happened. And it's been a really, really, really heavy week. So let me start off with top political developments. So item number 1, perhaps Parliament passes that 10% quota bill for general category, and the Lok Sabha has passed the Citizenship Bill. So that's where those 2 major bills are actually stacked up right now. BJP is clearly in poll mode. There's this 2-day national meeting taking place. 2019 slogan, Ab ki baar phir Modi Sarkar, seems to be one of the slogans that is coming out. And then, of course, there's been that CBI versus CBI battle. Alok Verma has now resigned after the transfer, and there's still no court relief for the number 2 Asthana. So lots happening at the CBI. Good news for the government, well, Justice Sikri essentially sided with the government in that CBI battle, and therefore, Alok Verma was asked to quit. So that was one good news. Number 2, the 10% quota. Is very rare that a cabinet clears a bill and it passes the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha within 2-3 days after that, and that's what the government was able to get done. However, there's still that question of legal scrutiny that we need to stop and think about. GST rules have been changed to benefit small businesses, might make some sort of an impact. Among bad news, well, the BJP's Assam ally, the AGP, has snapped its ties over the Citizenship Bill. Many other northeastern allies are unhappy, and we will be looking at that in the course of this program to see what impact that could have. Ayodhya hearing delayed once again. New benches to be constituted, January 29th the day. The government's going to be waiting for those delays and saying, where does that hearing actually start? Quota, yes, but where are the jobs? The job numbers are looking bad, and that's something the government may have to do a lot of explanation about. Index of alliance unity, well, obviously the single biggest factor is Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party, which seems to be done. What's the Congress going to do in all of this? That's a big question. Ajit Singh, however, may well be a prime candidate for the Mahagathbandhan. He said yes to it, but still no clear idea as to what's going to be happening on seat sharing. After Amit Shah's veiled threat, meanwhile, the Shiv Sena has said, don't take us for granted, don't threaten us, or we will bury you in Maharashtra. Maharashtra, as I've been saying, a really interesting state. Lots happening this week, otherwise we will be turning our attention to Maharashtra. Phew, running out of breath. Lot actually happened this week. So why don't I just do a quick roundup from everyone and ask them to tell us what they think of all the various factors we have just listed, which is going to have the biggest impact in 2019. Yogendra Yadav, would you like to go first? Which of these is going to have the biggest impact, you think, on the road to 2019?
My answer might surprise you, Vikram, but I think the developments in the Northeast are actually most critical, even for the election 2019. In general, they are very important. What we have witnessed in the last 1 week is BJP lose steam in the one area where it was actually almost certain to make gains over 2014. The situation of BJP is that it's reached a point of saturation in most parts of the country. The only place where it could make substantial gains was East and the Northeast. With the developments last week, BJP has lost the momentum in the Northeast. It's not just the AGP which has walked out. And remember, there are street protest agitations, disruptions everywhere in Assam. But BJP's Tripura ally has protested. BJP-supported government in Meghalaya has formally protested. In Nagaland, there is a protest. And Mizoram, who is not really an ally, but actually someone, at least non-Congress, they have protested. So my sense is that BJP lost about 10 parliamentary seats in the Northeast in the course of last 1 week. Now that might surprise you because everyone else is focused on the other 10, that is 10% quota. To my mind, it is just one of those developments which create a lot of news for 3-4 days. Then everyone forgets it. Remember the masterstroke of the Congress in 2014 election? Jat reservation. Everyone said masterstroke, Jaton ka vote ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega. Everyone knew this was not going to be accepted in Supreme Court. BJP winked and said, let it be, why should we take the blame? And finally what happened? The quota was rejected by the Supreme Court. Congress was rejected by the people, and not even the Jats voted for Congress. I guess this whole quota thing, which is a very cynical kind of a ploy, is not going to affect elections very much. On the CBI front, I think the only thing that might stay in popular memory is that this government is up to something shady. That impression is very hard to erase now.
Okay, Yogendra, that's a really interesting summing up. And I guess you're right. I mean, the Bahujan Samaj Party, Samajwadi Party is a known development, so it's not necessarily something that's specifically happened this week. So you're saying the Northeast, and that's a really interesting point. People sometimes forget that 25 seats in the Northeast, really significant. The Congress used to get a lot of that, as large as, you know, it's as large as Rajasthan or Gujarat. So therefore, that's an interesting take you have. Lalita Kumar Mangalam, let me just get you in on that. The various numbers that but we've just seemed to have lost her. Anil, let me get you in on that then. That's the advantage of having two people from the BJP. I know if we lose Lalita's line, we can get you in. Big blow in the Northeast is what Yogendra says you might well have. And remember, the BJP was really thinking that it could, of those 25 seats, you could get a very large number this time around. That's a big gain for you over 2014. You may have lost all of that in one week.
योगेंद्र यादव जी अब लीडर के साथ एक सेफोलॉजिस्ट भी हैं. उन्होंने जो गणना की होगी वो उनके लिए है, लेकिन जो मेरी गणना है, जो मेरा विचार है कि ईस्ट इंडिया के अंदर बीजेपी की स्वीकार्यता पिछले लगभग 4-5 वर्षों में बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ी है. जहाँ तक सिटीजनशिप का जो इशू है वो सिर्फ असम के लिए नहीं, पूरे भारत के लिए प्रभावी रहेगा. और उसके अंदर वहाँ के स्थानीय लोगों का कोई भी अधिकार या कोई भी राइट्स उनको नहीं वहाँ पर लिए जा रहे हैं. और ये भारत के लिए ज़रूरी है कि भारत ने सबको बड़ा हृदय करके बुलाया है. यहाँ पर दलाई लामा भी आए, तस्लीमा नसरीन भी,
सबको बड़े हृदय रख नहीं लगाए. अगर मुसलमान है वहां से तो उनको नहीं
वो क्यों बुलाया जाएगा उनको? भारत का 1947 के अंदर एक विभाजन हो गया और वो एक धर्म आधारित हो गया. और उसके बाद मैं तो यहाँ तक भी कहता हूँ उस समय ही भारत को हिंदू राष्ट्र हो जाना चाहिए था. उस समय जब पाकिस्तान मुस्लिम राष्ट्र हो गया, बांग्लादेश मुस्लिम राष्ट्र हो गया, लेकिन वहां पर रहने वाले हिंदू जो 14% पाकिस्तान में थे वो घट करके वहां 1.27 हो गया. बांग्लादेश के अंदर वो हिंदू वहां पर परेशान है, उनको इंटरोगेट किया जा रहा है. वहां पर जैन, सिख, ईसाई और इवन क्रिश्चियन को भी ये हालात है. तो क्या हो गया?
ओके, interesting. The cards really very clearly
Can
out
I
in
say
the...
one word?
Yeah, sure. And then I want to go to Prafulla
Just
Mahanta,
one
who's
word,
now
Vikram.
joining us. Yes. Yogendra, you want to respond to that very
I
quickly?
just want to say that what my friend from the BJP has said is exactly two-nation theory. This is the two-nation theory of Mr. Jinnah. And that's the point I wanted to make, that BJP actually is subscribing to Mr. Jinnah's theory. And now that we have Mr. Savarkar's portrait in the Central Hall, BJP should also install a portrait of Mr. Jinnah because he is their ideological counterpart.
Okay. Strong words there from Yogendra Yadav. Okay, I'm going to come back to the Prafulla Kumar Mahanta joining us. Let me get him in. He is founding president, of course, of the AGP, one of the tallest leaders of the AGP, and there in Assam. AGP pulling out of its alliance with the BJP. Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, we just heard Yogendra Yadav saying that in a week that was filled with action, you know, CBI and quotas and BSP, Samajwadi Party, he feels that what's happened with the Citizenship Bill perhaps could be, from the point of view of the 2019 election, one of the most significant because of what it might mean there. What is your take on that, sir, and why did you might want to elaborate a little bit on why the AGP has broken a really long relationship that you've had with the BJP?
Problem for Assam and Northeast region, probably you know that as per provision of the Assam Accord, the 1971 24th March is the cut-off year. We observe upon more than 9 lakhs of people up to 24th March 1971. Now, by placing this Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016, the provision of the Assam Accord is going to violate, and the indigenous people of Assam will become minority, and they are going to lose their right of education, right of culture, right of language, and political right also. Therefore, all the section of the people opposes it, and therefore we press the central government also from the very beginning that that bill should not be bring to the parliament. And by violating the assurance, they place the bill before the parliament and they try to pass it in the Rajya Sabha also. Therefore, AGP decided not to go along with BJP, because we shake a hand with the BJP to defeat the Congress here. The misrule of the Congress and misappropriation, etc., allegation against them, and therefore we want that Congress should be ousted. And therefore we shake hand with the BJP in the assembly election. And this is pre-poll alliance, not post-poll. And pre-poll alliance, the seat sharing also took place, and the BJP got the more seat, and therefore they are able to run the government. And we are the partner of that. This is the coalition government, not BJP government.
Right.
And now the rule of coalition is not more there. And therefore we ask them, if you claim that it is a BJP government and BJP is able to going to form the government in Assam, then call for a fresh mandate. Let them take the fresh mandate, and we will be welcome them if they are able to form the government alone.
Sir, can I just ask you a question? What
But
you're
our
saying
main
about
issue is
Assam,
that,
what you're saying about Assam,
this Citizenship Amendment Bill should not be make a law.
okay.
Yeah.
What you're saying about Assam, the BJP has been able to actually expand its influence all across the northeast. It's got alliances, NPP, in virtually every state the BJP has been able to get strong allies. Are all of them, in your view, unhappy?
No, you
and
know,
could this be a breaking point?
Meghalaya government, they oppose this bill.
Okay.
No, my interest of our state is first priority.
Okay.
And Tripura also opposes it, and Mizoram also opposes it, and Nagaland also opposes it. By not giving importance the argument, sentiment of the Northeast people, they press the House to pass the bill. Where is democracy now? India is a secular country, and Bangladesh is not an Islamic country now. Bangladesh is also a secular country. So, therefore, I think that this is our view, that the central government should insist the Bangladesh government to give the security to the religious minority peoples who are living in Bangladesh. This will be the fine, because Bangladesh is a friendly country and secular country as us.
If I was to ask you what sort of an impact you think this is going to have in the
Assam movement,
2019
Assam Accord
general
was signed.
election, Mr. Mahanta, if I was to ask you the impact you think this is going to have on the 2019 general election, not just in Assam but also in the other states of the Northeast, what would be your take? Is this the sort of an issue you think people are going to vote on the basis of? And could that disrupt the BJP's charge in the Northeast, which has been very successful? Look what has happened in Tripura, Assam, other
wait
states.
for 2019. Yeah. No, I am not an astrologer. Wait for that 2019.
Okay, I mean, we are actually in 2019, but okay, we'll wait for the general election, I guess. I also wanted to ask you, the Assam Accord and in most states of the Northeast have seen insurgency, a lot of violence, protests because of the question of illegal immigrants and illegal migrants. It's been looking as if the Northeast is going to quieten down. We've seen protests again right now, but there are a lot of hopes that these will be only scattered and it won't actually. Is this the start of a period of fresh protests? In your view, if this bill goes through?
No, insurgency problem can be solved through negotiation. But how you believe that immigrant person being from the Bangladesh is going to solve the insurgency problem of Northeast? What is the logic behind it?
Right. Can I ask you, in case this doesn't go to the Rajya Sabha, let's say that the bill doesn't actually get passed, will the AGP bury its rift with the BJP, shake hands again, and go into the election in a joint sort of a manner? What would it take for you to repair this rift that you've just had?
No, BJP, they betrayed the people of Assam, they betrayed the AGP also. Because first, during the election campaign, present Prime Minister, he given assurance to the people that those peoples are the Bangladeshi, as per provision of the Assam Accord, came to Assam, and they must ready with a bag and baggage to leave the place. But instead of that, they bring this bill to the floor of the House to confer the citizenship to the religious minority people of the Bangladesh. First, they given us assurance that not a single inch of the land of the Assam will be going to hand over to Bangladesh. It was a land deal bill which Congress brings in the floor of the parliament. But after forming the government, they immediately hand over the land of the Assam, that is our country's, India, to the Bangladesh. And second is Citizenship Amendment Bill. And third, price hike, petrol, diesel, etc., gas. And no development works are done here. All the industries are going to close one by one. Already closed.
All right.
Unemployment problem increases day by day. In railway service also, not a single Assam local people are get the appointment.
All right, Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, thank you so much for speaking to us on this program. You're obviously sounding annoyed and not sounding as if there's an immediate rapprochement on the cards, and we will have to see what the impact this is going to be on the general elections. You said that you're not an astrologer, so you can't say. Thank you so much for joining us with that perspective. Lalita Kumar Mangalam, if I can just get you in on that note, I'm going to turn to quotas and BSP and CBI and the rest of it, but while we're discussing the Northeast, we really want to try and figure out what the impact of this is going to be. But actually, before I come to you, if I can just get some of the others in as well. Faizan Mustafa, your take on what we've just heard on the Citizenship Bill and some of the other issues that have come up. Your reaction to what we just heard from Prafulla Mahanta.
Yeah, Vikram, I am not a political analyst and I'm not a political leader, so I'm not the right person to answer your question. But in terms of calculations of BJP, it seems that they may lose, as Yogendra Yadav is saying, 10 seats there, but they want to play this in the plains of North, where they will say, because there have been statements that we will have an RC in Haryana and an RC in Rajasthan. So there will be some impact of the Citizenship Bill in the northern states. But as a law person, I would say that Citizenship Bill clearly violates Article 15 of the Constitution, because we are discriminating solely on the basis of religion. And I see eye to eye with Yogendra Yadav that this is furthering two-nation theory of Jinnah, and he is absolutely right. Both Jinnah and Savarkar were basically, on the same page on this issue. So I feel that Citizenship Bill is clearly violation of a clear provision of the Constitution, and the Quota Bill may be violative of something which is not written in the text of the Constitution, which is a judicial innovation called basic structure of the Constitution.
Okay, interesting point of view. Maua Maitra, let me just come to you next, because the Trinamool Congress, obviously, now the entire question of migration, as much as it affects Assam, also potentially has a major bearing in West Bengal. What is your take on a couple of these issues that have really been grabbing the headlines? I'm going to come to the Quota Bill, but citizenship, what sort of an impact could this have in West Bengal?
We've come out very strongly against both the NRC and the Citizenship Amendment Bill. And you see, this government, the BJP government, is absolutely diabolical. So when the AGP was when the AGP was with them, they came out with the NRC where they said, we care for the indigenous people of Assam, we are all for you, blah, blah, blah. We care for the Assamese people. They come out with the NRC, 40 lakh people excluded, 28 lakh Hindus, 10 lakh Muslims. So the cutoff date is 24th March 1971. According to the Assam Accord, which they say they are implementing when they go for the NRC. Well, what happens now? They come out with the Citizenship Amendment Bill, which gives the cutoff date as 31st of December 2014, and which differentiates solely on the basis of religion. We've always said that the purpose of this divisive BJP government is to weed out and root out Muslims from India, and that particular agenda has been exposed now, because if you're talking about illegality, if you're talking about illegal immigrants, then a person who is an illegal immigrant is an illegal immigrant irrespective of whether he's a Hindu or a Muslim or a Jain or a Christian. Yeah? So you cannot say that there are two types of illegal immigrants. If you're Hindus, you're allowed to stay, and if you're Muslims, please go back. That, I'm sorry, does not work. So I think their divisive agenda has been exposed, and I'm very glad that the AGP and all the parties that have allied with the BJP in the Northeast have seen this agenda for what it is, and the AGP has shown the guts to walk out on this government. So well done on them. And I think in the months forward, we will come to see that particularly, I think, all over the Northeast, that the 25 seats that they are counting so heavily on, as Mr. Mahanta said, let us wait for 2019 and see what happens.
Can I ask you what impact, Maua, this is going to have in West Bengal? Because we're looking at it state by state. West Bengal also has an illegal immigration problem. A lot of that is to do also with Muslim migrants who are there in West Bengal. And this is something which the BJP often talks about in its election campaigns in Bengal. Is this going to have an impact there or no?
Vikram, I take umbrage at the fact of Muslim immigrants. If it's an immigrant problem, it's an immigrant problem, irrespective of whether it's an Hindu immigrant or a Muslim immigrant. In Bengal, we don't differentiate anyone on the basis of religion. So I'm not going to answer that part of the question. But yes, there has always been a Bengali Khedao Andolan in Assam, which we saw in the 80s. And we are worried that the NRC issue, by which 40 lakh people have been excluded from the registrar, these are poor, defenseless people who don't even know how to get themselves. I mean, there can't be 40 lakh who are not genuine Indian citizens. So we are scared that they were going to be persecuted, they're going to be put in illegal detention camps, and we are going to see a big reflux of these into Bengal. So I think obviously we are extremely worried about this situation, which is why we have come out so strongly against this. And we believe that due process should be followed, and we believe that if you're going to implement an accord or implement something like this, this needs to take into account all stakeholders, and a lot more thought that has gone into this.
Okay, let me now turn to you. You've heard the possibility that this is unconstitutional, and B, is it violative of the principle of equality of all religions?
मुझे लगता है जो वाइस चांसलर साहब ने जो इशू रखा है वो एक लर्नेड लॉयर हैं, वो मौलाना के नज़रों से इस बिल को नहीं देख सकते। और जो महुआ ने जो इशू रखा है, महुआ ने इस चीज़ का अध्ययन ही नहीं किया है कि हम लोगों ने हृदय बढ़ा करके दलाई लामा को लेके आए, तिब्बतियंस को लेके आए, तस्लीमा नसरीन को लेके आए, अदनान सामी को लाए, सोनिया गांधी को भी सिटीजनशिप मिला है, उनका है वो राइट्स आज भी है। बट ये चेंज इसलिए हुआ है कि लास्ट 25 ईयर के अंदर हमने देखा है बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान के अंदर जहां पर माइनॉरिटीज है, जो वहां की माइनॉरिटीज है और जो इंडिया की माइनॉरिटीज के अंदर, आप फर्क देखिए। इंडिया की माइनॉरिटीज में उनको पूरे राइट्स हैं, वो यहाँ राष्ट्रपति बनते हैं, यहाँ प्रधानमंत्री भी बन सकते हैं, या हर चीज कर सकते हैं। क्या ये कल्पना अफगानिस्तान के हिंदू, ईसाई या सिखों के साथ की जा सकती है, ये पाकिस्तान के हिंदू ईसाई या सिखों के साथ की जा सकती है। आखिर हमारा एक वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का जो एक दृष्टि है उसको हम क्यों कोलैप्स करें? और आप अगर ये कहते हैं कि मुसलमानों के खिलाफ है तो ये मैं सोचता हूं कि आपका नजरिया सिर्फ चुनावों की दृष्टि से देखने का है, और इस बात का मैं पूरा का पूरा मैं विरोध करता हूं, इस बात का खंडन करता हूं। रही बात पश्चिम बंगाल के महुआ की इशू की, वहां तो तृणमूल कांग्रेस बहुत डरी हुई है, हमारी एक रैली नहीं होने देते वो लोग, उसके लिए बार बार कोर्ट के अंदर जाते हैं। वहां पर जो है कई सारे ऐसे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं जहां पर हम लोग दुर्गा पूजा की अपनी स्तुति नहीं कर सकते हैं, वहां पर हम लोग प्रोसेसन नहीं निकाल सकते हैं। और वहां लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की जो सिचुएशन है, सबसे पहले तृणमूल कांग्रेस को बंगाल के लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की सिचुएशन देखना चाहिए कि वहां पर पुलिस को उन्होंने तृणमूल कांग्रेस का वर्कर बना दिया है, इस बात का हम विरोध करते हैं। मेरा दूसरा इशू यह है कि कुल मिलाकर के यह जो सिटीजनशिप बिल है, भारत के अंदर एक हृदय बढ़ा करके उन लोगों को लाया जा रहा है जिन लोगों को वहां प्रताड़ित किया जा रहा है। और यह समझना चाहिए आखिर बांग्लादेश के हिंदू कहां गए, बांग्लादेश के सिख, बांग्लादेश में एक रामनारायण मंडल थे, वहां के संविधान सभा के अध्यक्ष थे, याद होगा इन लोगों को संविधान सभा में जब अध्यक्ष बनकर गए थे, ठीक 1 साल के बाद वहां के मुर्शिदाबाद के अंदर कितने कत्लेआम कर दिए गए थे, 10 लाख हिंदू और सिख मार दिए गए थे, वहां पर अन्य हिंदू मार दिए गए थे, और वो बाद में हिंदुस्तान आ गए। क्या इस ऐतिहासिक पृष्ठभूमि को भुलाया जा सकता है जो हिंदू वहां रह गए थे?
Okay, I'm going to throw that to Mahua, and then I'm going to turn to the other quota issue on forward caste and scheduled caste and other such issues. How does that dynamic play itself out? Mahua, would you like to respond to what you just heard?
Well, I think even responding is kind of below our dignity. I'm very surprised, Vikram. I know NDTV has to deal with the fact that a lot of BJP spokespersons, official BJP spokespersons, don't come on the show, which is why you have to fall back on sort of, jingoistic demagogues from literally the ghats of Varanasi who come here and find they have a national stage. I mean, obviously, some of the comments that he made were so offensive, I'm not even going to bother to reply to them. I would like to tell the gentleman that, what can one reply to this? I mean, this is the worst kind of Hindu preacher possible. I'm not even going to reply to this, Vikram. I think the next time you should really use a filtration process. I'm surprised that you didn't say anything to the gentleman. I think his kind of communalism is so open and so flagrant that I think it is unacceptable on any kind of civilized debate. So actually, I think it's really below our dignity for myself and that of the party to reply to this. I would urge you the next time to please speak to the representatives, and when we are having a civilized debate on a civilized topic, to have people who understand.
Now, Mamata Banerjee's name is Mumtaz Banerjee in Bengal.
Thank you so much.
Sir, okay, fine. I think Mahwa's made
I wanted to say something.
Yeah, Yogendra, please come in. Yeah.
ये मैं बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता से कहना चाहता हूँ,
विक्रम,
माइनॉरिटीज के बारे में आपका हृदय इतना खुल गया है, कितना सुंदर लग रहा है मुझे सुन के। आहा, बीजेपी माइनॉरिटीज के बारे में चिंतित है। मेरा सिर्फ इतना सवाल है कि माइनॉरिटीज के बारे में आपकी चिंता सिर्फ 3 देशों के बारे में क्यों है? ये उसके साथ में बर्मा भी है, म्यांमार, वहां भी एक माइनॉरिटी है जो परसिक्यूटेड है, नेपाल की भी परसिक्यूटेड माइनॉरिटीज हैं, श्रीलंका में भी हैं, और पाकिस्तान में अहमदियां हैं जो कि परसिक्यूटेड रिलीजियस माइनॉरिटी हैं। इन सब के प्रति आपकी दया दृष्टि क्यों नहीं पहुंची? क्यों हुआ कि सिर्फ यही आपको दिखाई दिए? अजीब नहीं है बात ये?
क्योंकि योगेंद्र जी, मेरी दृष्टि में दोष नहीं है, इसलिए मैं एक बेहतर विकल्प की तरफ बढ़ता हूं। आपकी दृष्टि में दोष है, इसलिए उस दोष के कारण से आप इस चीज को ऐसा देखते हैं। आप बहुत बड़े सेफोलॉजिस्ट हैं सर, इतनी बड़ी पार्टी चला रहे हैं। आप यकीन मानिए, आप भारत की स्थिति को समझिए और उस देश के अंदर रहने वाले उन हिंदू और सिखों की स्थिति को समझिए जो लोग अपने बच्चों की खुल के शादियां नहीं कर पाते हैं, वो लोग उनको इकोनॉमिकल वो बिजनेस नहीं कर पाते हैं, वहां पर उनको किसी चीज का राइट्स नहीं है। अगर भारत की सरकार इस पर नहीं सोचेगी तो कौन सोचेगा? आखिर ये सब के सब भारत का ही तो हिस्सा थे, अफगानिस्तान भी हमारा हिस्सा था।
So therefore, Yugendra is asking a very simple question. The same principle, yeah, this is all once part of India and we should reach out to oppressed minorities. You would be okay to extending that to everybody irrespective of their religion. That's the only simple question that Yogendra is asking. So presumably the same policy will be open to the Ahmadiyas at some point.
पहला हमारे को लगता है कि ये दोनों के दोनों ये उप महाद्वीप में हमारे देश के हिस्सा थे, इसलिए पहले इसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं हम।
Fine.
उसके बाद में देखेंगे।
Okay, I would like to. I think Mahua was also right. We are sort of digressing away from the main subject of how all of this is going to affect 2019 into a range of other issues. Faizan, I know you were trying to say something. Let me just get you in on this, and then I want to really shift to the other big issue.
Just 30 seconds. I want to say, if the argument is that Pakistan and Bangladesh are parts of India, then why NRC? Why we are throwing these people back to Bangladesh? They are our people. In fact, the whole idea of united India goes against NRC. And Yogendra is right, Ahmadiyyas and Shias are also discriminated in Pakistan and Bangladesh.
All right, fine. Now let me come to the other major issue. As Vivek has rightfully said, it's time that we turned our attention to it. So Vivek, now let me ask you about this entire question of the quota for forward castes, right? 10% quota. Now, is this something that you think is going to have a major impact to the way scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other voters are going to respond?
Well, Vikram, I think thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak. You know, as a sociologist and as a political scientist, I have also another identity. I am a researcher. And as a political scientist, as a political social scientist, I feel if you have given 5, very important events which have happened, I think you should talk about that how UP SP-BSP alliance will be having a greater impact on 2019 election.
I agree, it's a possibility.
I think it's very, very important because it's happening after 25 years that BSP is entering pre-poll alliance. Till now, they are having only post-poll alliance. And there are 80 seats for a grab. You are talking about 10 seats only. I think, therefore, you should also count the 2 backward class leaders, Apna Dal as well as Sukhdev Rajbhar, Suheldev Rajbhar party. They are also getting annoyed. There is a big chunk of the Ajit Singh party which is also talking about that. And that there, because of this grand alliance, the most historical party of our country, and that is Congress, is getting marginalized. I think that is a bigger take, that is bigger political take to be discussed at length, rather than only discussing 10 seats.
Okay.
And therefore, I think that 80 seats are already, BJP has lost 3 more northern states. What is going to happen there? So I think, therefore, this is a more important issue than 10% quota.
Okay, fair enough. Now, can I ask you a question? So, in this, what is the difference that's going to make? And I want to throw this to Yogendra also. Yogendra, let's just discuss BSP and SP for a minute before we come to the quota. Here's the question. Is there the entire question whether the Congress should be got into it or not is a major question. Just the fact that the Samajwadi Party and the Bahujan Samaj Party have come together could potentially reduce the BJP from 73, if you include the Apna Dal, all the way down to 37, if you just to add up the votes. If the Congress had also been included with their 7.5% across the board seats, BJP could have come down to 24, SP plus BJP, BSP plus Congress could have gone up to 56. Do you think that is something that should have been kept in mind?
I think so. I think so, because we have seen already 3 states where actually they did not have alliance together, but yet if they would have come together, BJP would have been wiped out. So I think, but UP has a very different nature also, that we have to understand. It has gone into a split politics, that people vote differently in Lok Sabha election, and in Uttar Pradesh local elections they vote very differently. I have a doubt that why Congress is not actually harping to get onto the bandwagon, because they think that they have still left over from Faizabad to Farrukhabad. There is a belt which supports Congress, and Congress may get an independent, because I know 2009, 2004 or 9 election where Congress got 17% seat and got 21 seats. BSP got 21% votes but got 19 seats. Yeah. So, because their votes are consolidated, and that's why I think Congress is not pressurizing that much to BSP and SP.
And we'll have to see whether this extends outside. Yogendra, let's just look at Uttar Pradesh for a minute. Obviously, the logic of the SP-BSP alliance is obvious. We've been discussing it for 5-6 months, and if this alliance holds together, it potentially has a bearing in 30, 40, maybe 50 seats, one way or the other. Get the Congress in, not get the Congress in, Congress acting as a vote splitter, for the upper caste. What's your sense of how this particular state is going to pan out?
Vikram, I entirely agree with Professor Vivek Kumar that this is an alliance which is momentous, and especially when it's a pre-poll alliance. As a pre-poll alliance, SP and BSP in today's context are hard to beat, almost impossible to beat. The only reason I did not mention it in the developments of the last week is that I'm assuming this happened a few months ago. So right now it's only the formal parts are being announced. And indeed, this is one alliance which will make difference to the overall outcome of Lok Sabha. My own sense is that if SP-BSP contest together, the seats of BJP come down not only from 72 to 37. That's a very formal mathematics. That happens only because last time BJP had very artificial height. BJP had an outlier, complete outlier in the last 30-40 years. BJP, even in the best of elections, never secured the kind of votes that it did in 2014. It is nowhere close to that now. So my own sense is that BJP should be reduced to well below 30 with an SP-BSP alliance. Whether Congress can or should be a partner of that, that's really for them to work out. But one of the problems in most of these alliances which are oversaturated, which is to say, this is like Congress NCP alliance in Maharashtra. These alliances find it very, very difficult to get a third partner because finally you have to adjust someone there. So what looks on paper wonderful is sometimes impossible to work out. My own sense is that SP-BSP will simply leave 2 seats for Congress and would rather accommodate some small parties like Apna Dal or RLD. So in other words, the broad conclusion stands that BJP is up against an uphill task. BJP is up against a coalition, which is, it would be a miracle if BJP manages to match, beat, or overtake this alliance of SP-BSP, at least as things stand today.
Okay, let me now get Mahua back in. Mahua, a take on you on a couple of issues. One, the sort of alliance politics that we are now starting to see in Uttar Pradesh, and also the question of what happens with the Congress party, because I'm sure that same question will be facing the Trinamool Congress even in West Bengal. Congress may not be likely to win too many seats, but it can potentially bring 5-10%. To add to the quota and to help in the sweep. What's your sense of that, and what's your sense also on the quota, the 10% quota for the economically weak among the forward caste? Is that going to have an impact in these elections and in West Bengal in particular?
I'll answer the first part of the question first. Our Chief Minister and leader of the Trinamool, Mahanta Banerjee, has come out and said that we will fight these elections on the principle of whoever's strongest, you fight that territory. So, for example, the BSP, SP fighting in Uttar Pradesh alone, they have already said that they're going to leave 2 seats for the Congress and do it, which is obviously part of their strategy. For us, it is very clear. Mamtaji has already announced that we are going to contest all 42 seats in Bengal because that is the strongest territory for us. And whatever we have, whether it's the SP, BSP, whether it's the Trinamool, it all goes in the anti-BJP kitty. So this is the anti-BJP kitty that we are all working towards. And the Congress, for example, is strong in Rajasthan, in Gujarat, in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh. In these states, we have nothing. So it's not like we are going to fight there. So the Congress fights in your 7, 8, 10, whatever seats that they're stronger in. We fight this, DMK fights in Tamil Nadu. So we are this is the way we are fighting. And this is the strategy that we are taking. It's going to be an alliance of all the anti-BJP forces. And on the 19th of January, we've got a meeting in Calcutta at the Brigade Parade ground, which is going to kick off this sort of a pole alliance thing in a very big way. So we are very clear on that strategy, and we think that that is the best strategy under the circumstances, and that will work that is going to work very efficiently to weed out the BJP. On your second question on the 10% quota, Vikram, I was just looking at the numbers. Do you know between 60 and 70% of all bills were brought through a parliamentary committee in the previous government? For this government, that is only 20%. So the question of a ministry forwarding it to cabinet then putting the bill out for opinion, then coming back, then parliament debating it, amendments coming into it, this process has been followed in only 20% of bills. And as you saw, that when there was a question, I think Ahmed Patelji even brought it up in Parliament. He says when the concerned minister was asked that day in the morning in reply to a question exactly that are you proposing to bring in a quota, his answer was no, we are not proposing anything in the near future, because the answer to the question was prepared 2 weeks ago and this was only decided the night before. So on this quota, I think the new poverty line for this country for lower castes is 32 rupees a day, and for upper castes it has now become 2100 rupees a day. So let's look at this example. If you've got somebody earning, the upper limit is 8 lakhs. So that's 2,100 rupees a day. So assume somebody is earning 65,000 rupees a month and still makes it to this quota. They are in a much better position to get their children jobs than somebody who may be an upper caste but who's earning only 5,000 rupees. So even within upper caste, the ones who are genuinely economically disadvantaged are not going to be the ones benefiting from this. So I think both from a constitutional point of view, it has already been challenged in the Supreme Court. Let's see how it stacks up. And even from the pure economics part of it, we don't think that it helps. So again, very poorly thought out, jammed through Parliament.
No, I think it's a very interesting case of this bill. You know, Faizan ji is also there, and there are more experts. But you know, I have a hunch. World over, world history tells us when a quota is introduced, it is introduced to give representation to the people who are not represented in the institutions of governance, production, or you can say parliament or whatever. Right. But here it's the case that people are already representing them, and the people from that particular identity background, they are already there in services, they are there in universities, and yet you are trying to give them representation. This is a hilarious situation, and therefore, you know, my take is that it is a utmost, you know, provision for violation of constitutional morality.
Okay, I'm going to come to the constitutional part with Faizan in a minute, but Lalita Kumaramanglam with us. Lalita, I just wanted to ask you that at the end of the day, this quota, if you look at what happened in Rajasthan, if you look at what happened in these states, there were signs. I mean, take Rajasthan, for example, seats dominated by Brahmin voters. 2013, the Congress had got only 1, got 13 this time. BJP went from 18 to 9. Is that the sort of a factor that really led to this? That, you know, we need to somehow we are losing upper caste support, we need to get it back, and that's why this quota has come.
Good evening. I was listening to a large part of the debate earlier on, and I'm amused at the sort of so-called supercilious upper class English-speaking so-called intellectuals' contempt for the BJP. I think they will be quite surprised when the 2019 results come in. To come back to the 10% reservation, this is not the first time economic reservation has been tried to be introduced by the government. I don't think I need to quote when it was done. Everybody knows about it. And if all of them feel, any of these people who are the very learned people who are on the panel, who are talking about it and against the BJP, venting their ire against the BJP, so to speak, they could have voted against it. Nobody asked them to vote for it. The BJP was determined to do something that has been a long-standing demand of many people in this country. With regards to the 8 lakh income level, that is something that can be discussed, and for now, I think it will stand at that, because Mahua is quite right in giving those figures that she did. But the fact remains that this is a demand from many people in the so-called upper caste, or the OBCs, or whatever it is, because of the amount of reservation that already is there in the country. Many poor people who are not able to access education and get jobs, and in this case, everybody is talking about government jobs, they found it much more difficult than they should have. So I don't think that it's something that is constitutionally or morally wrong, because anybody, and please remember, this is gender neutral, this is caste neutral, this is religion neutral, and it's also providing for a reservation in education institutions. Okay. Therefore, I think most of the arguments against this are quite specious, and it's just for form.
Well, obviously, politically, Lalita, you're right. That's why everyone voted for it. Nobody could be seen to be speaking out against it, which is why they all voted for it. But Faizan, is this going to stand legal scrutiny? I guess that's the big question that also needs to be looked at, because that may well actually suit the BJP and the government also quite well. We tried, the court struck it down, at least we made an effort. Same may happen to the Citizenship Bill, come to think of it.
No, it may not, because the whole question is that on the constitutional amendment, you have to see that it should not come in conflict with basic structure. Now, equality has been held to be the basic structure. Now, to test an amendment, there are 2 tests which the courts has talked about in Nagraj. One is the width test, where the court will look at quantitative and qualitative limitation. The quantitative limitation is you can't go beyond 50% unless you have compelling reasons. Now, those compelling reasons should come on the basis of hard scientific empirical evidence. and there hasn't been any study done that the weaker sections in the upper caste are underrepresented. You know, in Article 16, it is clearly said that the condition is that if they, in the opinion of the state, they are not adequately represented, then only you can have reservation. The other is the qualitative limitation that you will exclude creamy layer. Now, if you have included everyone in the latest limits which have been talked about, then almost 95% of these other economically backward classes people are included. And reservation for everyone will mean reservation for none. So it will go there. Moreover, it looks like that these limits have been arbitrarily fixed. And Supreme Court has clearly said that Article 14 impliedly includes right against arbitrariness.
Okay.
The other test which will be used to test the constitutional amendment on reservation will be, does it change the identity of the Constitution? Now, the identity of the Constitution from the Pune Pact to the Constituent Assembly to the Mandal Commission is this, that on the basis of social backwardness, because of the historical injustices, we will help the backward classes.
All right.
The backward class will mean something where you have social backwardness as the central thing. I feel that since social backwardness test will not be met, the likelihood of this amendment sailing through in the Supreme Court looks difficult to me.
You think it will be struck down by the courts?
No, that is what I am saying, that why I have used the term constitutional morality, that government of the
It is likely
knows
to be
fully well,
only thing is
knows fully well that it will
is
not
the
pass through the
constitutional
test.
amendment now this
Neither it needs
economically backward.
constitutional mechanism, neither it will hold in the court of the law. And
Lalita
yet
Kumar
they have
Mangalam,
brought it.
you're a prominent legal. You think the courts are going to strike this down?
Come a long way since when Narasimha tried to introduce this type of reservation in the early 90s. And I'm sure the courts are also aware of the fact that it's not just caste that makes people marginalized or backward, or it's included in many of the things that they should be included, including
you're wrong.
benefits. Poverty, let me finish, sir, please. Poverty is an extremely debilitating factor in anybody's life anywhere in the world, not just India. We're talking about our country, fine, let's stick to India.
Okay.
Poverty can debilitate anybody, regardless of your caste, creed, gender, etc., etc. And that is why
It is not a poverty alleviation program. It is Manrega. Manrega is a poverty alleviation program. Madam Mangalam, please accept this. We are not alleviating poverty through reservations. We have to give representation through reservations. We cannot alleviate people from poverty-stricken, actually, conditions.
Well, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, obviously this particular week has given us a lot to talk about, and we could continue to understand and debate the various ramifications, everything that's happened for weeks, and I suspect we're going to end up doing that. But I'm going to have to call it a pause on the program just for now. A week filled with many, many developments, from the quota to the Citizenship Bill, Samajwadi Party, Bahujan Samaj Party. I haven't even got the chance to get to the CBI and what that might mean. But we'll be back next week to continue to take a look at all the twists and turns on the road to 2019. You're watching The Big Fight. Bye for now. Thank you all so much for being with me.